Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to Starbucks, powered by Chris Gates. I'm your host, Anthony Donardo. With me, we have Jim Rosati. Jim, as always, happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Good morning. How we doing
It's
today? I
I'm
feel like we
tired.
just we had what it was like a 3.5 hour show last night.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Andrew did a post game show. You did a post
And I
game
did a
show
post game.
and then came on and did a 3.5 hour
Yeah, so
draft show.
I'm sure everyone's not completely sick of me by this point.
Oh, I mean, everyone's been sick of you to begin with.
Right.
Right. Nobody likes Rosati. But yeah, absolutely. Long night. Up again.
Yeah.
I felt like we were on here make 2 hours ago, but and like Brett's watching. What are you doing? Like, how are you on last night and on now too? I mean, it's stupid that we're here doing this, but like, who's also watching us right now after watching us last night? Jeez, you
Yeah.
guys are stupid.
Crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, good stuff though. Good stuff. There's a lot to talk about. We have a whole entire week to talk about it because the All-Star break is here. The Pirates are 500. The MLB draft is here. It's nonstop still. There's a break, and yet all this crazy stuff's happening right now. Good
Yeah.
stuff.
It's all good stuff. The sweep of the White Sox, that was huge. Really just a really good road trip heading into the break. I feel like they do this all the time where like they actually play really good baseball leading into the break. And now, we don't have any games until Friday. So hopefully you don't lose that momentum. I don't really know if momentum is a thing in baseball, to be honest, like from like a game to game. I think there's such thing as momentum like within a game, from game to game. It's maybe a little bit different because like you can get stopped by one good pitcher. But yeah, I'm very happy with the way that they played this week.
They did essentially exactly what they needed to do for quite some time. We've been talking about how they have to string some wins together, and they'll string two together. That's about it, right? And then they lose the third one. I mean, they took 2 out of 3 from Milwaukee. Then they went to Chicago, swept the White Sox. Like you're saying, like that was huge. That was huge. So they're back to a 500 baseball team. They're now 1.5 games out from the wild card. At this point in time, going into the break, which is all you can ask for right now, they're in the thick of things. If they were to have to make a choice, they're going to draw a line in the sand today, Jim. I think you make that decision that you're buying. You have to. And that's where they are. Had they not done this, what if they went 1-2 against Milwaukee, which is very possible. I mean, they are the best team in the division right now. And they go to Chicago and it's a road game, and somehow or another things happen. They go 1-2 there. I mean, 2-3. You're still looking at this team and debating, like, oh, what are we? We don't know yet. We got to make this tough decision. Today it's a little easier.
Yeah, so I want to share something real quick. Going into last week, the Pirates, these are the NL Central playoff odds, right? So you have the Pirates now at 16.2%. Going into the week, they were 6.1%. On July 7th, they were about a 6% chance of making the playoffs. They've increased their chances by about 10% now, which, it's not like super great right now, but
Mm-hmm.
it's better than where it was a week ago, and it's going up. So that's the direction you wanna see.
And to add to that, I mean, of
Also,
course, the Pirates helped themselves by winning, right? But like looking around, how the other teams finish, in the sense, I mean, the Pirates have now been 7-3 in the last 10. San Diego Padres 4-6, who's a team they're battling with. The Giants and the Reds, all 500 team. So like, yeah, other teams not going into the break hot, helped out the Pirates as well at this point in time.
yeah. Before we get too far into this too, I just want to let you all know BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season, from baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the games are over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online, the game starts here.
Good stuff. Yeah. So again, team has set themselves up in a good position heading into the All-Star break. The draft was last night. Connor Griffin's a Pittsburgh Pirate, great pick. So far felt pretty good about the draft. So yeah, it's a good feeling this morning as a Pittsburgh Pirate fan.
Yeah, you have to feel good. You just came off a draft where the way things played out for you, you ended up getting a really good player. You got the go ahead and I know it may not you might not want to go back and watch the whole 3.5 hour show. But throughout today, I know we're going to be putting up, like, when Connor Griffin got drafted, we'll put up a segment when Levi Sterling got drafted. There's a segment, so we clip it up for you to help you out there. But if you want to go back and relive all last night, it's there for you. But yeah, the way things shaked out, really happy with how the Pirates kind of went about their first day. All high school players, so that's a little
Yeah,
bit of a change. It's the first time I think we've really seen that, where we just loaded up on high school players that first day of the draft. But yeah, they got a lot of talent into the system with that first pick with Connor Griffin. So I was happy to see that.
for sure. Yeah, they zigged a little bit when they usually zag last night, and but all things pointing upwards. I'll say that they can develop them. That's the next question. That's what we'll find out. But getting back to the actual team in itself, where do you want to start? I guess I'm just at the pitching just stands out. I know we keep talking about the pitching, but guys are really stepping up on this ball club, and guys are now starting to get healthy. And like with Bailey Falter out and with Jared Jones out, you still feel very comfortable with this rotation and the bullpen.
Yeah, the pitching's been good. Just from a pure team standpoint, overall they're 13th in ERA. But when you dissect that and you hone in specifically on starting pitchers, they have the third best starting pitching staff in baseball, behind the Phillies and the Mariners. Those two teams are kind of separated, and then, like I said, the Pirates come in third behind them. But just an outstanding job that this rotation's done. And I think you've got to, like, not only is this a testament to Keller, Jones, Skenes, and Marco Gonzalez coming back looking good, but like, just across, like, Bailey Falter's doing better than we thought he was going to do. Luis Ortiz has been outstanding, like, just throughout the year in his different roles, right? Starting off the season, we saw him. We played a lot of extra inning games early on. He came in and was like that 10th inning guy, and he pitched really well in the 10th inning and 11th inning with runners on base. Then you saw him transition to this long reliever role, and you saw him, be a bulk guy during bullpen games, and he succeeded there. Now you're seeing him actually step into the rotation and starting games, and he's having success. So I think if I was gonna have like a like a MVP, but like under the radar MVP of the first half, it's
Uh huh.
Luis Ortiz. Like, he's been outstanding. And I don't think any of us really expected anything like this out of Luis Ortiz.
No,
I wasn't
no.
expecting anything out of him. I was like, if he can go and just be like an average reliever, that's a win. But he's turned into a weapon for this pitching staff.
Yeah, I like the way you put that. He's clearly not the MVP,
Not the
but
MVP, yeah, but
he's definitely been one of the most valuable players in the sense, because he's been thrown in like a few different roles this year too, and he's excelled at all of them. And especially for a guy like you mentioned that you had no expectations. In spring, we kept talking. If Rowansy, if Luis Ortiz, one of them can just stick as a number 5 starter, and you're more or less thinking like, hey, if they can give us some innings and have like a mid-4 ERA, that's all you need right now. Like, you need to get through this year. You just need innings. And he's not just providing you innings. He's not helping the bullpen by that, like going 5 or 6 out there and giving up 4 earned runs. Like, he's actually winning ball games for you. And, he was doing it in a very long man role early on, like you mentioned. And now he's had to be put in a situation. It's like, you know what, Luis? We need a starter, or at least a bulk guy first, right? Give us some innings, go do this. And he stepped into that role and he did it, and now looking more like a traditional starter. And right, I mean, it's what, 66.2 innings and a 2.84 ERA. This isn't just a guy getting you through. This is a
Yeah.
guy who's winning you ball games, and
Mhm.
again, as Jared Jones leaves with an injury, he comes right in and says, I'm going to fill in these shoes with Jared Jones. Not the same type of pitcher, but I'm going to get the same, if not better results than Jared Jones.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking through here, and there are early in the season, there's there's 3 games before April 6th that the Pirates lose without Luis Ortiz.
There you go.
Like, I mean, that right there, he impacted the season, like, right from the get-go. 2 extra inning games in Miami and an extra inning game against Baltimore that he won the game for you because he was able to shut down the other team, especially, like, in those situations where there's a runner on base coming into the outing. So, like, being able to do that, it's just been he's been outstanding. And then ever since being thrust into the rotation here, it's been nothing but good stuff. Like, 6 innings, 1 run, 6 innings, no runs, 5 and 2/3, 1 run. It's been great.
Yeah. Like the 5th most innings on the team also to show. Like, this isn't just, he's
Mhm.
been in the bullpen for a little bit of time and, oh, it's just been 20 innings and that's why his ERA is there. Like, again, he's thrown 66.2 innings on the year. That's
Yeah.
point 0.1 more innings than Paul Skenes, just to have some reference here. So he has been every bit this unheralded hero to help the Pirates being in a winning position. But and again, Paul Skenes comes up and like you talk about the rotation, right? And where they rank. And of course, most of that is because stats happened before May 11th. Paul Skenes comes up and just you see what he is. And what is he, Jim? He's the NL starter of the All-Star game this year. That's how good he's been in just having 11 starts. So, like, this rotation has been every bit as successful as you could ever imagine this year. And the
Yeah.
depth is real.
Yeah, and like Nola says here in the comments, like people are pitching like they don't want to lose their rotation spot. Like guys are getting healthy, and it's now like it's a problem. It's a good problem, but the Pirates are now going to have to make decisions where they're going to have to pull people out of this rotation who don't really deserve to lose their spot. But there's now with Marco Gonzalez healthy, you've got Perez healthy, Falter's going to be coming back. You're gonna have like 7 or 8 guys where like you would feel comfortable with all of them starting a baseball game. And so you got to like there's going to be 3 guys left out of a rotation spot, which again, great problem to have when you're like, who do I choose to start? Because there's a lot of people deserving of it.
Yeah, very much. Very much so. As a veteran with a trade deadline coming up, as a young guy who am I going to get paid? Major league pay next week or minor league pay? Right? You're absolutely correct here. And then I had to think about it for a second. I was like, did I dream this or is this real? And it was real now that I remember. But Jared Jones, it seems as if all signs point to he will be back in August, probably around the trade deadline as we kind of anticipated, right? We said like the 4 week part sounds as if he is going to start throwing. He'll be back probably early August. So like reinforcements are coming. And I guess we can kind of pivot this too. Like heading into the trade deadline, when the team regroups come Friday, Brian Reynolds is also just eating right now. This guy is carrying the team. We talked about Rowdy time and time again. On the offensive side, it's still some challenges, but I feel like they're actually coming to a point right now where I don't want to say you feel comfortable, but they're doing better and at least enough because of all the stuff that we're talking about on the pitching side to get them through to the trade deadline at least. I think we were worried that the offense was going to be so bad that this team's not going to be able to spin off wins. And if they just kind of stay consistent and at least what they're doing and such, that they could find themselves out of it. And I think the offense is at least good enough to let this team tread to get to the deadline, to still feel comfortable into buying and getting the pieces that they need to acquire. But it has gotten better. And hey, you know what, Jim? You trolled me on the post game yesterday. Is it the Palacios thing?
Hey, since July 1st, the Pirates outfield has a 133 weighted runs created plus. They're killing the ball. As a team, 111 weighted runs created plus in July. So just overall, the offense is performing. They're scoring runs. They're fifth in the National League in runs for the month. They're hitting the ball over the fence. They're fourth in the NL in home runs.
Mhm.
They're doing everything you want to see a team do, except maybe steal bases. They're last in stolen bases. Maybe try running a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, as of right now, this offense is just they're clicking. And this is what, like I said, you don't need to have the best offense in the league, but number 9 in the NL has been such a vast improvement that they're starting to reel off wins because the pitching is so good. That's what this team needs to be. Is if you're not the 9th best offense in the league, you're going to be a top 6 team because your pitching's so good. The problem is when you were the number 13 offense in the league and the only people you're better than are the Marlins and the Rockies, then you're going to run into an issue because your pitching is good, but it's only so good to carry you when you're scoring 1 or 2 runs. They're now getting to the point where they're scoring like 4 or more pretty consistently. And if you do that, you're going to win with this pitching
Right.
staff.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, like going back, Brian Reynolds, the absolute catalyst. He is the absolute MVP right at this point in time. What he's been doing since June 1st is nuts. And I know we kind of jokingly talk about, but it's true. Like he is better than Juan Soto, and and we talked about June for so long, but like looking into July at this point, he's at a 180 weighted runs created plus. Palacios, Palacios has 2 home runs in 10 games. He's got a 171 weighted runs created plus, and it's like, I want to talk a little about O'Neal Cruz. Um, I feel like he's had an up and down first half. You see all the flashes and you see the negative side as well, the defense, the slumps. How good is he going to be? You look at the body of work, his major league career. It's good. It's good enough. Especially when you think about it, it's really been 1 year's worth of stats. Now, of course, it's been longer at this point, but I feel as of late, I'm feeling more comfortable, more positive about O'Neal Cruz. And I say that because, I mean, the bat, of course, is also looking better. Him in the month of July, 135 weighted runs created plus. I mean, he's a 297 hitter, 340, 341 on base, 514 slugging. He also has 2 home runs. But I think what stands out the most and what's maybe helping him on the offensive side because of it is he doesn't look any bit of an issue at short. Earlier on, you could make the argument and still give the excuse, which is an excuse, like, it is the ankle, it's this, it's that, he's long, and he's not going to be perfect. He is not going to be an excellent defender regardless. But I feel O'Neal Cruz has been looking much more comfortable at the shortstop position. And like he hasn't looked great and he hasn't looked bad. He's just looked good enough, and that's all you need from him. And maybe that alone is making him feel more comfortable as a player. He's feel more comfortable with it, that ankle. And the offense has been there for a much more sustainable time lately.
Yeah. It's he's been
Is that the Gymalytics?
well, I would say this. So he looks a lot more comfortable up there, especially against lefties. I've noticed lately. Like he's having good at bats. You can tell that there's still something with the ankle because every once in a while he'll be he'll do something and you're like, that's not like normal O'Neal Cruz. But for the most part, he's been having really good at bats. His again, specifically against lefties, I feel like he's just looking more comfortable. I mean, 14 homers in the first half. He missed all of last year. He's an above average hitter right now. He's playing good defense too. I think that's the thing that gets lost in all of this is his defense has been a lot better lately. He's he's kind of buttoned up the errors. He's making the routine plays routine. He's he looks a lot more comfortable in the field. Yeah, I mean overall, I mean he's on pace for a 3-win season, and I think you probably would have taken that after coming off a year where like he missed the entire year. If it was like, all right, well, O'Neal Cruz is going to give you 3-win year, like you'd take it. You want more out of them, right? Like I think if the Pirates, if you want the Pirates to be where they really need to be, you need like a 5-win season out of Cruz. So like you need the offense to pick up, but it's hard to complain about what we've seen out of him. Like I said, he's had his ups and downs. He definitely is a streaky hitter. But when he's I don't think we've seen like one of those like red hot streaks yet. Like there's one of those in him still this year where he just goes off and he hits like 8 homers over a 2-week span. Like I think there's something like that in him that we haven't seen yet. But I think the thing that sticks out to me and what I'm most encouraged about is just how good he's looked defensively. Like people will point to the errors, right? But look at the other stuff. Like the reason why he's got a lot of errors is because he's rangy. He can get to a lot of balls that other people can't. And he has at times just done stupid things in the field. Like he throws the ball a million miles an hour, maybe when he doesn't have to, and it you know he airmails it. But those are the things I think he's cleaned up a whole lot. But I mean, you look at all the defensive metrics, and they mostly like him. Like he's an average to an above average defensive shortstop, and it keeps getting better. Like week over week, gets better and better and better. That's what I'm most encouraged about because I think the bat is going to come around, and it's going to get to the place that we want it to get to. But the defense really settling in is very encouraging.
Very much so. Very much so. And Joey Bart being back healthy, he's certainly paying dividends as well for this offense.
He's been awesome.
Yeah.
Honestly, best position player acquisition of Ben Cherington's Pirates career. Who's better? Like, I mean, who's better?
I think you could argue Connor Joe, but that's
I'm
where
gonna
we're
disagree. Just like from like a position standpoint, like being able to find a catcher who's doing what Joey Bart is doing.
That's
I mean,
fair.
Connor Joe. Yeah, I'm happy with Connor Joe, but like Connor Joe's a 4th outfielder, right? That's what he is, and he's a good one. But like being able to get Joey Bart, and we talked about this on the post game show yesterday, me and Doug. It's just like catchers just take a while to develop sometimes, and so maybe the Giants just didn't give Joey Bart enough time. They really didn't play him that much. Like if you kind of look at it, like Joey Bart played 1 full season of games in his career before the Giants cut him loose.
Yeah.
And now you're seeing the potential that everyone thought they saw in Joey Bart come out. He's got a 123 weighted runs created plus. Like he's turning into one of the better offensive catchers in the league. And it's not a small sample size anymore. I mean, he's over 100 plate appearances. So we're talking about a little bit bigger of a sample size. But God, if they just found their catcher of the future off the waiver wire in Joey Bart, like, and I know they still have Endy, they still have Davis, like they've got other guys, and you need more than one catcher, right? But I'm very happy with Joey Bart. Like what a half he's had. If he can just stay healthy now, that's going to be his thing.
Yeah, I'm with you. Um,
You know
so
what
I
we
don't
didn't
know.
talk about yet? Paul Skenes is
What's that?
starting the All-Star game.
Yeah. I guess we did mention it, but we didn't really talk. That's exciting stuff. It's just it's crazy to think about what's happening right now with Paul Skenes and the Pirates.
Yeah. First rookie to start the All-Star game since Hideo Nomo in 1995, so it's been almost 30 years. He's only pitched 11 games. Like, that's what's wild about this. He's starting an All-Star game, and the dude's only pitched for, like, 2 months.
Mhm.
It's the best pitcher in the
Drafted a
league.
year ago.
Yeah. He was literally drafted a year ago. Now he's starting the All-Star game.
I don't think
I
honest.
saw him make his AAA debut, like, 3 months ago.
Right. Well, that doesn't say we know how good he is. I think. Actually, we still might even really know how good he is. Leading to my point here. I don't think we really understand and appreciate what's in front of us right now. This doesn't have like who's the closest we've had to a Paul Skenes? If it's Andrew McCutchen. I mean, the guy was an MVP of the league. That was
There's
really
no one
fun to have.
There's no one in my lifetime that has, like, taken over the baseball world as a Pirate as much as Paul Skenes has.
Right. And like that's what I'm alluding to. Like the
Mhm.
closest is Andrew McCutchen, who was an MVP. And he was awesome. And he was on MLB. Like he was out there. He was definitely a face of baseball.
Mhm.
But it's not like he came up in 2 months is like Paul Skenes
Established
is
himself as, like, the
starting.
best in the league. Yeah.
He's starting the NL All-Star game. We've had Eno Saris on. Eno talk about he's the second best pitcher in baseball, right? Like you have people pining for Paul Skenes to start the game all nationally, all across baseball. That wasn't anywhere near what happened with Andrew McCutchen. And it took Andrew McCutchen some years to do that.
Mhm.
Like he's come up and just said, am I the best ever? Maybe. And it's 11 starts.
Yeah.
And he's a Pittsburgh Pirate. It's just nuts to it's nuts to know you have that this time.
Yeah, it's surreal, right? Like, we've seen this with if you remember going back to, like, the early 2010s, back-to-back years, I think it was, the Pirates picked second or close to it, where, like, there was a clear-cut generational guy picked first. Like, you had Bryce Harper, you had Steven Strasburg, and then Bryce Harper, back-to-back years, and it was like, damn it. Like like, we were bad, and if we were just, like, a little bit more bad, we woulda had those guys. And then we still ended up getting, some good players out of that, but having those 2 guys, they changed the trajectory of the Washington Nationals franchise, right? And that's the type of player that Paul Skenes is. He's a franchise-altering player, and he's on the Pirates. He's somebody who you can just build around, and if you can put together something resembling competent baseball around him, he's gonna give you 32 starts a year, and the way things are looking like you're gonna win 25 of them. Like that's kind of what he looks like. So
Yeah.
when you have a guy like that, you've got to just surround him with as much talent as you possibly can, because you're not going to have him very long. So you got to take advantage of the opportunity that's in front of you right now. I think they've got to do everything they can to extend them and buy out a year or two of free agency if possible. It's going to take 2 to tango, obviously, but that's got to be a priority coming up this offseason or the offseason after that. Yeah, he's been. I knew he was really good. Like seeing him in person in the minors in spring training, it was like this guy's special. But he's even with that expectation of this is one of the best pitchers I've ever seen. He's still doing things I wouldn't have expected.
Startup, everyone had a month and a half head start on him. Using B War, because of course that's actual performance, right?
Mhm.
Fangraphs uses FIP.
Yeah.
Baseball Reference uses actually runs 10th in WARs among starting pitchers. He's got a 3.2 WAR in his 11 starts. And like, think about
stupid.
that. Is
Stupid.
that pace, which I mean, I don't expect him to sustain that the entire time, right? Like, I can't fathom. He might though, but he's going to have a 190 ERA at the end of the year and such. But it's 11 starts
I
in a
haven't seen
normal
anything to
season.
tell
A
me
pitcher,
otherwise.
right? But like in a normal season, a pitcher goes 34 starts.
Hmm.
This is about a third of a season. He's putting up a 9.6 WAR pace season as a pitcher.
We haven't seen stuff like that since, I guess, like prime DeGrom. Like when DeGrom was out there, he had a few seasons when he was like throwing 200 plus innings. I think he was in that territory.
Mm-hmm.
Verlander, maybe that one season with the Astros, was probably in that territory. Like you're talking about like special type seasons when you're putting up 9+ WAR as a pitcher.
And this is his 11th of his pro career.
Yeah.
He hasn't settled in. I mean, maybe he has, but what I'm getting to is he hasn't had that settle in period. It's not as if like, okay, I now have a year's worth under my belt. I'd have 2 years, right? And pitchers usually take longer to develop. Pitchers, I mean, like no one really goes the extreme of Mitch Keller, but some most of the time hitters can come up and start producing, and pitchers need a little bit of time. 11 start.
Yeah. It's wild. Every time he pitches, it's a treat. It's a treat to sit there and watch him pitch. It you want to be entertained when you watch baseball, and there's no other pitcher that I'd rather watch than him.
Pirates fans had Garrett Cole. He was fun. He was outstanding. Nowhere near this level. Nowhere near this level.
I mean, he's beating out rookie
Nowhere.
year Zach Duke at this point, which is tough to do.
You know what? Damn it, Jim. I wanted to make a tweet about that 2 days ago. I forgot all about it.
Rookie year Zach Duke. It's
That was a treat.
He was special. He was special.
Yep. All right.
We want to get Murphy on.
Yep.
Let's bring Murphy on. Before we do, I've got maybe a special announcement to make.
Ooh,
We've been teasing
here it
something.
comes.
We've been teasing something here lately. So yeah, since you listen to Starbucks every Monday, right? So I know you love sports, but if you have health and fitness goals too, listen up, because Chris Gates Fitness just launched an online fitness membership called Training Camp. Training Camp is a monthly fitness program designed specifically for sports fans, and it's honestly nothing like what we've ever seen before. I just joined the Facebook group on it and logged into my login the other day. The amount of resources, the amount of content that Chris has for you is incredible. But Chris has been coaching people for years. He's a massive Pitt football fan. He's created a community and training camp that blends fitness and sports together to help you achieve your goals while connecting with a community of sports fans doing the exact same thing. So whether you've struggled to stay consistent in the past, felt confused about what exercises to do, or just need more accountability, Training Camp is here to help. When you join Training Camp, you'll get top-notch coaching from Chris. He'll deliver monthly workout plans to help remove all the guesswork with exercising, so you can just show up, put in the work, and have confidence that what you're doing is working. The workout plans are customizable and designed to fit your busy lifestyle so you can stay consistent and see progress. You'll also join the private online Training Camp community where members gather for support, participate in challenges, win prizes, and more. Training Camp is centered around sustainable results. No crash diets or extreme routines. You can drink beer, tailgate for Pirates games, and do all that and make progress. And Training Camp will teach you how. So, and you get all of this for less than your weekly coffee run. In fact, right now, Chris is offering a massive discount. If you sign up this week, You can get your first month for just $10, which is 80% off the monthly price. Head over to chrisgatesfitness.com/training camp or hit the link in the description to sign up. Make sure you use the code Starbucks, STARBUCS, to get that discount. But I'm super excited for it. It launches next week. He's giving you all a really big discount for month 1. So yeah, looking forward to seeing you all in the group. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, for sure. I love the concept of it too. For those of us who are a little competitive, that usually drives me.
Yeah, I mean it's a really great idea, and the fact that you kind of get to do it as a group, compete against other people, use it for accountability. Yeah, I mean I'm excited for it to start next week.
Same. I'm just excited to finally find out what it is. Such a relief. I
There you
feel
go.
like
We've been
I've lost
teasing it.
5 pounds off my shoulders already, so it's
There you
already
go.
working.
What's up? What's up, Murphy?
What's going on?
You've had a busy night too.
Yeah, man.
Really
I don't
good
even
time.
know if I slept. I don't even know if I slept last night.
I was gonna ask you. You watched the draft. If you watched our draft show, you and Nola were in the comments the whole time. But then once the Pirates took their second pick, you two went live over on your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I was able to catch the tail end of it once we dropped off. So if you all are craving more draft content, go over to Anthony Murphy's YouTube channel. He's got his show with Nola up there from last night. So you can go ahead and see what those two have to say. And I'm sure you've got tons of content on Bucs on Deck today, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. A couple things coming out today. So, yeah, it was a good night. Good night last night. That was fun. So,
good stuff.
Certainly was.
So let's talk about last week. How'd the system do? We don't have to talk about Mitch Jebb again, do we?
I mean, we can always talk about Mitch Jebb if we want.
I don't.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm down.
I mean,
we don't need
Let's talk
to.
about Mitch.
Kind of speaking on Mitch Jebb, it was funny last night too because I kept poking at Nola last night because I kept like kind of talking about the Pirates drafting Griff O'Farrell from UVA, and he's almost like a similar profile kind of thing, except he's more of a legitimate shortstop, and I could see the sense of relief coming out of Nola whenever the Orioles took him at 32, and so he wasn't on the board at 37. So.
I remember when Griff O'Farrell got taken, actually, the first highlight they showed of him was him doubling off of Louisville.
Good.
So
I'm sure that happened a lot.
And it did. Our pitching was so bad this year. But yeah, let's go into the Pirate system a bit. I do want to address this question. Someone had a question and we haven't addressed it yet, but I want to make sure we answer it. Someone asked about Hunter Barco and the developmentalist
one.
Yeah. So I think what happened, this is his first year off Tommy John surgery. He's pitched a lot in the first half. They really just wanted to give him some rest, right?
Yeah, it's more of a paper move to just kind of give him time off, and then it opens up a roster spot for them too that they could have like filled it, so then they're not pitching like a man down kind of thing. So
yeah, it's kind of a way to just take you off of a roster, and so that way you're not taking up a spot, but you can. Yeah, so he's just having some rest right now.
Yeah, they do it too with some like the depth pitchers. They'll throw them on the development list. They still like travel with the team and stuff like that. They just aren't on like the active roster and stuff like that. Who's Anthony Solomedo's on the development list right now. They use it too sometimes for guys that are maybe like working on some stuff that they don't want to send down to like the complex or something like that. So they'll throw them on the development list, and they can like do the side work and that kind of stuff and whatnot.
Yep. Cool. All right. Let's go with our 4 guys from this past week. Who we got first?
We want some hitters. You want some pitchers first?
Let's start with the pitchers.
Pitchers?
Yeah.
So probably the best pitching performance from last week was Thomas Harrington. 11 strikeouts over 7 innings, only 1 earned run. he's looking good. He's settling in pretty well to Double-A right now. He has a 3.5% walk rate right now with Altoona, which
Jeez.
is insane. And he's still
Yeah.
striking out a decent amount of people too. So it's not like he's an all walk guy. Was it 59 strikeouts and 56 and 2/3 innings, 26% strikeout rate, 2.54 ERA. Like, and like the fastball is still like low 90s, topping out like 94, 95 kind of thing. But like he gets so much like movement and carry on it that it just plays super well up in the zone. Pairs it with that slider, which is really good pitch. And then like I don't know who wrote it, that, like he changed like his changeup grip or something like there. I think it's more like a split change kind of thing. So that's working a little bit better for him. But yeah, just a really solid season for him. We got off to a late start because of the injury. I don't know if he'd be a guy maybe that a candidate to go to like the Arizona Fall League to make up a month. But yeah, just really good season for him.
Yeah, he's been outstanding. His last 2 starts, he's gone 7 innings in both of his last 2 starts. 7 innings, no runs, 7 inning, 1 run. 11 strikeouts this past week. That's his. If it's not his best game of the year, it's his second best game, and his best game was the game before. Like he's had his 2 best starts in July. What are the odds? What are the odds Thomas Harrington gets traded?
I mean, I think at this point you're probably. So I don't think he gets traded during the season. I don't think the Pirates make anything significant like on that end during the season. They may look for a couple like little pieces here and there. If he's going to get traded, it'll probably be in the offseason when they have more time to kind of create a framework of something bigger that he would probably, I mean, because ESPN had him as one of their top 100 prospects. So like he, I'm a big Harrington guy too. So like he's a guy I wouldn't mind keeping, but he's him, Ashcraft, and maybe Hunter Barco are probably like your bigger trade pieces at this point. Right. So I think there's a chance on it. I think also too, the way that the Pirates are kind of big on like analytics and stuff like that, he's kind of like the poster child for that. So maybe like he's a lot higher in their regards than maybe like the rest of us. So maybe he's closer to being like he's obviously not on Bubba Chandler's like level, but maybe he's closer to that level for them than like maybe we are with it. So maybe they're less inclined to move someone like him.
So, well, I mean, he's got to teach Paul Skenes how to throw his fastball this offseason,
right?
Like Jared Jones.
Can you imagine that fastball with like elite metrics then at that point? Like
Jeez.
people already can't hit it. So
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just need to he taught Jared Jones how to throw his fastball this offseason. Just have Thomas Harrington be like your assistant pitching coach and just have everybody throw Thomas Harrington.
He can dual roll it.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I agree. I hope they don't trade him. I think he is a pretty valuable trade piece. I think if you're looking to if the Pirates trade Thomas Harrington, it's going to be for it's not going to be for a rental. It's not going to be for Taylor Ward. Like I think you're probably looking like a Jazz Chisholm type guy if you're trading Thomas Harrington.
Yeah, it'll be a bigger thing, and it'll probably be something that you have to do in the offseason. Give them time to kind of map it out.
Yeah, definitely going to have to be like a more high impact guy. Okay, so Harrington's looking strong. Who else this past week?
Well, this guy right here, he's more of like a personal favorite kind of guy. He's a guy that I've kind of been hyping up the last couple of years. He's been stuck in Bradenton. Controls like has gotten worse than his first couple of years there. But when he's throwing strikes, I don't think Carlos Jimenez is like one of the hardest guys to hit in the system. The issue is that he has more walks than innings pitched right now.
He walks so many people.
Yeah, he had one game where he pitched an inning and 2/3 and walked 8 people. So, but when he's throwing strikes, like you can't hit him. Like, he has a mid to upper 90s fastball. The changeup is probably one of the best changeups in the system. It has a big curveball that's kind of taking steps forward. Like, the stuff is there. It's just, man, he can't throw strikes to see.
I would say I'm actually looking at his numbers, and he is sort of unhittable. Like, he hasn't given up more than 5 hits in a game all year. He's only given up more than 3 hits twice this season.
Yeah.
The problem is, he's walking 4 to 8 batters a game. So that's an issue. But yeah, he, like you mentioned, he's been pretty unhittable. 45 innings this season and 30 hits given up. So, that comes out to like 2 hits every 3 innings off of him, essentially.
But his last start, he only walked 1 in 6 innings and then struck out 7. So I would, like, without looking at every one of his starts, I would probably just feel really safe in saying that was his best start of the season.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I said, when he's fun to watch. It's fun to watch whenever everything's kind of clicking for him. So
yeah, I'm actually kind of looking. So like if he walks 2 or less people, he doesn't give up a run. Like he's putting up zeros if he's walking 2 or less. When he goes higher than that, that's when it seems like he gets into some issues. What is it about him that makes him, like, the pitches? Like, what is it about him that makes him kind of so electric when he is on?
It's just like, especially when you're looking down like at the lower levels down in single A, hitters I just don't think are ready for like 3 pitches that of that kind of magnitude. Like the fastballs, he can get it up to the upper 90s with it at times. So, and the changeups, just really it's the two secondary pitches that he can throw so well that maybe hitters at that age aren't quite ready for. So like when he's throwing those for strikes, or even when he's just throwing the fastball for strikes, then you have to respect that more. That allows like the secondary stuff just to, the hitters don't have a chance because they don't know what's coming at that point.
Is he somebody that you should just at this point just be like, hey, you know what, you're a reliever now, and just see how fast he can get through the system?
I think he started the year in the rotation, and it obviously didn't go well. They kind of moved him into the bullpen a little bit, kind of multi-inning kind of stuff. With the injuries they've had recently, they've kind of had to stretch him back out and throw him back in the rotation. I would say, he's the kind of guy that, I would like to see him just, okay, we're going to throw you 1 inning at a time, and just go all out, like, and see if something clicks with that. Maybe even just go ahead and, okay, go to Greensboro, and we'll just kind of, you're either going to float or you're going to sink at this point. So, but you're only going to do it 1 inning at a time.
Yeah.
Now, I've looked in 2 places to see if maybe this was off or not. Is he really 140 pounds?
No.
Okay.
No.
Thank you.
He's closer to probably about like 180, 200. Now he's put on weight on it. Those weights, the height and weights on those, they on like the MILB pages are like when they from when they like initially signed. So he was probably like 140 pounds when he signed at like 16.
Okay.
No.
That makes me feel more comfortable. Because
he's
if he's 140 right now, I don't think what are we talking about him for?
I mean, if he's 140,
this guy's gonna break
if he's
down.
140 throwing 96, 97, like it's
impressive.
Just wait till eventually he fills out.
Yeah. Wait until he learns what a weight is of a dumbbell.
Yeah.
Let's get him on that Chris Gates training camp. See what he can do.
There you
Right.
go. Boom.
All right. So no, I mean, Carlos Skenes is a guy who's been kind of on my radar for a while. He was someone 2 years ago where Tim Williams, I know you and him kind of have a thing going on there. But as far as like when we had him on, I remember we specifically asked him, we said, hey, who's a guy who's not in the top 30 who could jump?
Yeah.
And this was in 2021. We asked him this. And he mentioned Carlos Skenes. So that he kind of put him on my radar there.
Yeah, we were all at that time on the site there. We all just like collectively just like really bought into Jimenez too. What is it like? I know Tim and like Wilbur, they got out to see him a couple times, and all the times that I watched, like we were collectively as a site, we were like super high on him back at that time. So
yeah, good stuff. All right, offense. Let's see what we got offensively.
Offensively, we'll stick with Bradenton, and I don't think we've really talked about him yet, but what Axial Plaz is doing down there in Bradenton right now is pretty incredible and still a little surprising to me. I feel like he's at 12 home runs in 41 games with Bradenton at 18 years old. Yeah, he's just destroying the ball, and it's really because like he is like I think it's about like a collective 150 batting average in the complex league. Like he hasn't hit. He did not hit like he got promoted to Bradenton solely because like they had no more catchers left. Bradenton started the year with like 4 catchers or something like that, between like Forrester also getting some time there. All of them got hurt except Omar Alfonso. So they needed a catcher, and like, okay, well, Plaza, you're going to go up here, and I guess we have no choice but to play you. And he's just like, you can't move him down now because he's done so well.
Right.
So,
what are we seeing from an exit velocity standpoint on him? Since Bradenton has,
he could hit the ball really hard.
Yeah.
like
at 18.
At 18, he's had a couple at 110 plus. At 18.
Yeah.
The question with him and why he hasn't gone too far up on a lot of prospect lists is because I think I said like a lot of the scouts are worried about like his projection. Like it's not a very projectable frame. So like he has power now, and then like at 18, you kind of be like, okay, well, if he has power now, maybe he can grow into more. And it doesn't seem like a very projectable frame, like he's going to add much more. So maybe he's already maxed out at power wise. But I mean, for a catcher, like you probably take that anyways.
Yeah, so you got a catcher who's hitting the ball 110 plus every now and then. I think you take that.
Right.
So, but like I said, he's at 12 home runs in 40 games. That's like a 30 home run pace going into if you were able to play like 100 games.
Yeah,
30 home runs in the Florida State League at 18 years old is insane.
Yeah, those are good numbers. Those are good numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that absolutely. Yeah, he was a guy who like he kind of burst onto the scene there in the Dominican Summer League in 2022. He hit 382 with a 500 on base percentage and a 706 slugging percentage. Like he just dominated that league at age 16, and then he came to the States last year, and he was bad. Like he wasn't good in the complex league, and then he started off this year in the complex league and wasn't good. But then, yeah, like you said, they were kind of forced to move him to single A, and he's got an 856 OPS right now. And when you're an 18-year-old catcher, it's gonna open up your eyes a little bit.
I think he's in the top 5 in home runs in the league, and he's played like half as many games as most of the other guys.
Yeah, he's played 41 games.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
He has 16 extra base hits and 12 more home runs.
Yeah.
He had a week, like it was like a week or two ago, where all of his hits were extra base hits. Like he only hit extra base. So
I know this.
Jim's got a ghost back there moving his door around.
Yeah, I know. That's my dog moving around. But no, Bucko Mike also a huge fan of Axial Plaz, by the way. If you don't know, huge fan. I think every time he like has a hit, he DMs me and lets me know.
I'm gonna start doing that with Mitch Jeb.
Yeah. All right, so Plaz doing some good things in Bradenton. Let's round things up. Who else we got?
Jack Brannigan had a good week last week. 4 home runs, 6 doubles, 6 of the 8 hits he had went for extra bases. A couple walks, stolen base. He had that really good start to the season, and then things kind of like cratered for him a little bit. Then he got hurt, and I think he got hurt again. But like he's a guy that intriguing because like the power speed combo. He plays really good
Mhm.
defense. Has the arm, obviously, because he pitched. Just kind of working through, putting it all together, kind of thing.
I'm a little disappointed he's still in Greensboro.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we'll see a lot of movement now coming out of the break,
Yeah,
kind of thing. Maybe he could be one of them.
because I mean he's a guy. He was in Greensboro last year too for the second half of the season, and he's had a little bit over 100 games now there. He's had 27 home runs at that level, and he hasn't. The strikeouts are down from last year. He struggled with that last year, but and the batting average is way down. His BABIP is super low this year, so I don't know what's going on with that. But like everything else is 123 weighted runs created plus. It was 159 last year. Like he's 23 years old. He's not a young guy anymore. He's 2 years removed from college. Like, and he played ACC ball, so like he should be doing this in Greensboro. So yeah, I wanna Brannigan's a guy where Baseball America, I think, had him number 5 on their latest update.
He was up there.
It was high. It was the highest I've seen him. And that just shocked me because like until I see him do this at Altoona, I'm just not a believer, like at all.
I think a lot of it was because like the floor that they feel he has just because of the defense. They think the defense is really good. So it's more of like a safety kind of thing. Like he has a lot to fall back on, kind of stuff like that. So
yeah, he kind of like Jared Triolo, like maybe more power than Triolo, but the fact that he can play kind of all over the diamond, he's got a good glove. He kind of fits that mold of like future utility guy, I think.
I feel like that's where I have him at right now. So,
by the way, Baseball America does have him at 5.
Yeah, that seems too high to me. But
I think a lot of that too is like graduations and so they had Kyle Nicholas at 6 before he graduated.
They did, yeah. Which I mean, you look at Nicholas and what he's doing now, and it might make sense. Cool. Well, what were your thoughts on? Well, you know what, Connor Griffin, go over and watch Murphy's stuff on the draft. Listen to read his stuff on Bucs On Deck. Like I said, there's gonna be a lot of stuff there, but first impressions, Connor Griffin. I know you put in a lot of thought and research into the draft stuff this year. So like,
I liked it. I think that's probably exactly who I wanted the Pirates to take. I've mentioned it on here that kind of tired of the hit only kind of profiles, and he's like the exact opposite. They did the exact opposite this year with the kind of what they've looked for. They got a premium, probably the best athlete in the entire class. He stole like 80 something bases last year?
Yeah, I think I read 85 stolen bases. Yeah,
that's insane. That's
just
insane.
nuts.
Yeah.
That's basically getting on base and stealing second and third like every time.
Yeah. And so like if he's not going to play shortstop, like he's going to play like elite center field. And then you get like an elite defending shortstop with your third pick as well. So like I think like the biggest difference is I think I saw a lot of people, especially in like the comments on Bucs On Deck, they didn't like the Sanford pick because it reminded me a lot of like the middle infielders that they have now and stuff like that. I guess like the hope is with it is when they've taken like the Mitch Jebbs and stuff like that, it's kind of been like, well, he's maxed out projection wise. This is kind of like what you get. I guess with like the Sanford pick, you get an elite defender at a premium position, which obviously you don't get with, guys like Jeb and stuff like that. And 2, there's still the projection and the growth ability of being 17, 18 years old. So he still has time to kind of to grow into the offense kind of thing. So, yeah. Then obviously they took a prep picture, which everyone knows I love the prep pictures. So
we all do. They seem to know what they're doing with them.
Yeah,
I would say I wasn't necessarily excited about the Sanford pick, but I don't dislike it either. Like it's going to rest on their ability to develop the bat, right? And then so we just need to see how that goes.
Yeah, I think this helps like bigger picture wise more than just like them too, because there's been a lot of games to where it's in the minors to where like pitchers like have to throw more because like the defense wasn't great behind them. So they're putting more stress on the arms and stuff like that. And now you kind of shore up 2 premium positions with 2 premium defenders that takes pressure off of the pitchers and stuff like that. And you know, less risk for injury, and the numbers look better and whatnot. So
yeah, good stuff.
Good point.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Someone asked any update on Endy's rehab. I think the last thing I saw, I think he's swinging from one side of the plate.
I think I saw that. I talked to Eric Birdland, and he said that he saw him at the complex not too long ago during one of the complex games. So
I know he's not gonna actually play at all anywhere this year, but I did see he was taking swings from one side of the plate earlier. But cool. Well, it's been about an hour.
Yep.
I think it's time for Murphy to go to bed.
Finally.
Got to get some sleep before college football comes out.
Right.
Oh God. Yep. Well, cool. Well, as always, thanks for coming on. I guess this is our sign off as well. So for everyone watching, appreciate you guys. Another big night tonight. Day 2 of the draft. All-Star break coming up. Pirates get back here on Friday. So we'll have plenty of content coming out. And again, as you already heard, check out Anthony's stuff. Bucs on Deck. We'll be back later. See y'all. Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Hey, you all. Thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucs.